What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I have some more good news to share with you guys today about Social Security. We have another senator that has openly said that she will be supporting the Social Security Expansion Act. So that's the $200 raise for Social Security that you're hearing a lot about. And then I also want to show you a part of a plan that we're hearing about. This has been leaked, and they're talking about how to reform Social Security. And this is something that we all need to pay attention to, because this could be what we see in the future. If we don't see the Social Security Expansion Act, which at this point, it's going to be hard to get that passed because you don't have support from both Democrats and Republicans. But when it comes to this bipartisan group that's talking about Social Security reform, they have a different plan. So we're going to take a look at that. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos. So by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. Okay, so I posted a video yesterday talking about Social Security and how they are planning to do some type of reform this year. And I wanted to follow up that video because I received some more information, and this was on the weekend, about another senator who is supporting the Social Security Expansion Act. So let's take a look at this article first, and then we will listen to this video here. So Gillibrand and colleagues to propose the Social Security Expansion Act of 2023. And this is Bernie Sanders' plan. That's what they're talking about here. Now, if you remember, Senator Bernie Sanders, a couple of weeks ago, he introduced this into his committee. And so now it looks like it's going further, which is great. This is good because you have more support. More senators are talking about this. And that's good news for this plan. However, like I said, you need support from both Democrats and Republicans. Republicans really haven't chimed in on how they feel about the Social Security Expansion Act. At least they haven't this year. Last year, they said that it's a no-go. They didn't want to move forward with anything when it comes to any type of expansion of Social Security. Their main push was to raise the full retirement age, and that's what we kept hearing. Now, have they changed their mind, especially after the State of the Union address, where they said they weren't going to do any cuts to Social Security? Because raising the full retirement age is a cut to Social Security. So have they changed their mind? We don't know. We don't have that information. But I want to show you the clip first, and then I want to show you this other article that talks about this different plan that is being, it was leaked, and it was leaked for a reason. They're leaking this just to see how the public responds to this. And then if the public if they're not outraged, then that's when you might hear more about this plan. So let's go ahead and play this clip first, and then we'll take a look at the other article. Here we go.
And is helping to secure more Social Security benefits for all Americans. Gillibrand is joining other colleagues in the Senate and the House to introduce the Social Security Expansion Act of 2023. The bill would expand Social Security benefits by more than $2,000 a year and ensure Social Security is fully funded for the next 70-plus years without having to raise taxes. This bill would also help low-income workers stay out of poverty by improving the special minimum benefit, restoring student benefits up to age 22 for children of disabled or deceased workers, and strengthen benefits for older Americans with people with disabilities.
Even with Social Security income, many older Americans can't afford basic necessities, things like housing, food, medicine, and care. And while Social Security will not go broke anytime soon, starting in 2034, it won't have enough to cover all the promised benefits.
Gillibrand says Social Security provides an essential lifeline to the 1 in 7 older adults who rely on the program for more than 90% of their income, as well as the roughly 50% of Americans who are age 55 years and older living without retirement savings.
Okay, so that was Senator Gillibrand talking about the Social Security Expansion Act of 2023. Good news, we have more support when it comes to moving forward with that bill. Now, we do have to take a look at what else is out there. Okay, so I'm showing you guys this article here. This is from CNBC. This was just posted yesterday. As Social Security reform talks heat up, changes to the retirement age payroll tax may be on the table. Okay, so we already knew that this was on the table. The full retirement age, they've been talking about this for a while. We just didn't know, is it going to be 69 or is it going to be 70? Looks like at this point, 70 is the number that we're hearing a lot about. Now, I want to show you guys one other thing here, because this is important for us to focus on as well. They are talking, and this is, you have Senator Angus King and Bill Cassidy, and it's a bipartisan group of senators that are getting together to try to put together a plan to reform Social Security. Okay, now Part of their plan is they want to raise that full retirement age to 70. Another part of their plan is they want to have a sovereign wealth fund. Now, this money would basically, the trust fund that we have right now, they would invest the trust fund into the stock market. Okay. Now, if we have good returns, that means everything is great, and that would prolong the amount of time that that Social Security can exist. And when it comes to not seeing that cut, because if the trust fund completely runs out of money, that's when we'll see a cut. And that cut could be about 23%. And so invest that money in the stock market. And if things are good, things are good. If things are bad, that's when they would have a stabilizer that would come in. So a payroll tax stabilizer, that would mean that the payroll tax would increase. And so that's how that would work. And so now they're not clear. Is it just going to be the cap? Are we talking about the 160,200? They're going to raise that cap, or are we talking about the payroll tax as a whole? Are they going to raise that payroll tax? Now, this is information that's pretty much been leaked. We don't have any details when it comes to this. That was just thrown out there, and I think it was thrown out there on purpose. I think these politicians leak this because they want to see how the community, how the American citizens react to this. Are they going to be really adamantly against it? And if they start hearing that, then they're going to say, yeah, it was on the table, but we're not going to move forward with it. So they don't want to put their name on it. So you don't want to have one politician come out and say, yeah, we want to do this sovereign wealth fund, and have the public just say that's a crazy idea, and then now they're going to be remembered for wanting to do this sovereign wealth fund. You have other countries that do this. They take the profits that the country makes, and they invest those profits into the stock market. Kuwait is probably a really good example of this, where they invested their oil profits into the stock market, and they're doing well as a result of that. So it can work. However, it is a risk. And if we are in a situation where something like this happens, and the stock market crashes, now you're talking about the stock market crashing, and you're going to have to raise taxes on small businesses and as well as people, because if they want to raise a payroll tax, and it's, even if it's the 160,200 or more, if you make more than that, you're going to be paying into the payroll tax, or at least continuing to pay into the payroll tax. But it could also affect if they want to raise the payroll tax from 6.2% to 7%. And so that would mean that people who are already struggling, because if the stock market crashes, it hurts all of us, 401ks, everything. And so if we are looking at a situation where the stock market crashes and people lose a lot of money, on top of that, they're going to have to pay more into taxes. So there's a huge risk, but the returns could be good. I mean, you could be looking at a situation where people, they're doing fine because of this sovereign wealth fund. And so we'll have to see if this is something that they really push forward. So we have two different things that we're talking about here. We're talking about one bill, the Social Security Expansion Act of 2023. That's Bernie Sanders' plan. That's the $200 raise for Social Security. And we're also talking about a reform of Social Security, a reform only. It's not going to have any expansion in it. At least that's not what they're talking about right now. So even if they were to invest this money, this plan that we're hearing about, if they were to invest this money into the stock market, they're not talking about expanding Social Security, providing a $200 raise for Social Security. Maybe that would be something that people would be more interested in hearing about. If you want to invest in the stock market, let's say it does get a good return, let's say a 10%. Do people get a bonus at that point? So that could be something that, I mean, if you really want to sell that, because it's such a risk, if you really want to sell that, you're probably going to have to offer something that where the American people would look at it and say, okay, yeah, this makes sense. We are taking a risk. If we take this risk, can we get a return on that? Just like businesses do the same thing, where they have these bonuses at the end of the year because the business did well. Well, if you're investing money in the stock market, because understand, it's the people's money. All this money is coming from the payroll tax. If it does well, do you reward those people for investing that money, basically? So because they're taking all the risk, understand that. People on Social Security, people who are working right now paying into the payroll tax, they're taking all the risk. It's not the politicians. They're not taking that same risk. And so if you reward them by giving them a bonus every year, would that work? I don't know. I want to know what you guys think about this whole thing. Do you think the sovereign wealth fund is something that we should be seriously taking a look at? Or do you think this is something that would be just too risky, especially at this point? And we're already hearing talks of going into recession and things like that. And so do you think this would be the worst time to try to invest money into the stock market because we might see a crash very soon? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.